Hi, everybody. Welcome to Am I the Asshole podcast. I'm Danny Vega, joined by my lovely co-host, Sarah. Sarah, what's going on? We got a big Reddit day today.
Big Reddit day. You know what? It's also a big cookie day because in addition to getting like a bunch of chip cookies, I had also ordered from this guy I saw on Instagram, Sugar Shane's cookies, straight out of Atlanta, Georgia. Kind of a similar ethos to Chip. Like they have the crazy fillings, but his cookies are almost more like a ball, like a baseball that you cut in half.
Oh my God, I want one. That sounds incredible.
Sugar_Shane's on Instagram. Guys, I'm pumped. I haven't tried it yet because I can only eat so many cookies in a day. But
send me a pic. Send me a pic.
Oh yes, I'll send you a pic of just the package of the cookies.
Love
and then
it.
once I open it, eat it, I'll send a pic as well.
So we're recording this on Wednesday, March 24th, guys. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we just want to briefly go into some drama on the subreddit. Apologies to the patrons, as we already covered this on the Patreon episode, which you can subscribe for if you'd like. And welcome to our new patron, Lindsay, by the way, patreon.com/AITA pod. We love to see you there. Rate, review, subscribe. Now, what has happened on the subreddit is the subreddit is currently blocked and nobody can access it. It's not just Am I the Asshole, it's many subreddits. And this is in response to the fact that Reddit UK hired a woman, and she is a controversial figure, but the shit hit the fan because her name was being automatically censored. A moderator was banned from the subreddit, from a subreddit, and for using her name in a post. And, obviously that was whack.
And I think they were just linking out to like an article, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And so then the moderator was reinstated, but then this person, her name escapes me now. I think her name's Amy or something, but
yeah, like Chandler or something
like that. And she was a Green Party candidate, and she had hired her father, who had something like 22 counts of sexual abuse, and it involved a child. And so now Reddit is like, we don't like this person. We don't believe this person should work for Reddit. Some people are upset about that, and then some people are upset about the censorship, and that is why many subreddits have gone dark.
Yes.
Hopefully by the day you're listening to this, that's no longer the case, because we can't access the subreddit. Fortunately, I do have an archive of AITA posts, and there's some sources where we can still get situations. But it'd be pretty funny if this was the end. But hopefully Reddit will just cave. I kind of feel like it's a no-brainer.
Pilfer from the Twitter. It's fine.
There we go. We got a backlog built up. I think I don't really have too many updates. It's a wintry. We're gone back to winter vibes in New York. So
slightly, I did get outside. It was weird because it was really foggy in the morning to the point that there was a weather advisory in Queens, which seemed dramatic. Dramatic. And then it was sunny in the afternoon, and I was like, maybe this rain isn't happening. And then today, I was going to take out my recycling, and what I just do is put on some slippers and just dash outside. And I opened the door and was like, oh, nope, I can't do that today. It's going to take a lot more planning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only report is I might try to run a marathon. I'm flirting with the idea. I've been kind of building toward a half marathon, and I read this quote that was like, a half marathon's cool because you don't have to train. You can kind of just get there. But a marathon requires more precise of a training schedule and a little bit more focus. And I was just looking at what it takes. So I might be one of those annoying-ass people who runs a marathon and
oh my God, I love that for you.
Do you love that? I mean, it's quite a change up. It's quite a shock.
It is quite a shock, but that's why I like it.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm sorry for all of you.
You're going to be Marathon Danny, then you're going to be LA Danny, and it's like, will I even know you anymore? Like, no.
I don't even know me anymore. That's the crazy thing. Just coronavirus, the real coronavirus was inside of us all along.
The real coronavirus is the good habits we picked up along the way.
There we go. Did you want to drop your juice, or are we gonna lock that for the patrons, Sarah?
Yeah, no, it's a Patreon exclusive.
There is some juicy juice. It's very positive, good news juice. I don't want to. It's not gossipy, salacious juice, but it's Sarah's private info that you can only access on our Patreon.
There we go.
That's it. I think we're ready to do this damn thing. I think we're hyped for it. I think it's gonna be a killer one. Are we in?
We are in.
Our second story of the day. AITA for telling my sister, try staying married longer than a year before giving me marriage advice. And this
Cannot
is
wait for that one.
This is the epic comment. We talked about doing this. Sarah did the homework, thankfully, because I was getting lazy about it. But this is the beyond epic comment that was left with like 9 hyperlinks in it. But first, AITA, I locked my entire alley up. I've never seen this. It's AITA. So it's literally.
This would be such a good guess the verdict, because I'm like, you took all the people in your neighborhood and rounded them up into like this big pen. Like, what happened here?
What happened? Last year, I bought a house in my area. Really wonderful, old red brick. When I was in the process of buying it, I discovered that the purchase also includes the alley. I asked a realtor if it was true. They said yes. I went to the courthouse to double check. They said yes. So I buy the house. I met some of the neighbors, and I made a joke about charging them rent to use my alley. They flipped out. I wasn't looking to start a war, so I let it blow over. Then winter arrived, and when neighbors started demanding I have the alley plowed every time it snowed, because I own the alley and I'm responsible for it. One of them told me they would sue me if they slipped and fell in the alley. I don't think they were joking. I paid a friend $25 a month to plow the alley every time it snows to keep them happy. Wow, $25 a month? How many plowings is? It seems like a horrible deal for this friend. Anyway,
but during this, they're getting the friend is getting robbed. This guy is getting a steal. I guess that's how that works.
A pizza for a plow? I mean, how many plows are they doing? That's crazy. But during this time, I was also talking with some people at the courthouse. As soon as the snow started to melt my area, I got a hold of some contractors and had them build a gate at the entrance of the alley that I keep locked. I've also posted trespass warning signs on the gate. It's all legal. I made sure of it before I did it. One final note, I'm only here to settle a debate with my sister. Regardless if I'm the asshole or not, the alley isn't going to be opened up again. You don't threaten me with a good time. For anyone who doesn't know any better, the alley has 2 garages that open to it. I would have figured most of you
For anyone who doesn't know any better, literally all of us, because we have no image of what you're looking at.
Yeah, and my memory serves me. This was an edit, so this is insane.
Got it. Okay.
I would have figured most of you would realize an alley may have a garage. No, I guess not. I didn't
That's not
intentionally.
what an alley is. An alley is like a dark passage between 2 buildings.
Yes. Well, yeah, in the urban sense. In the suburban sense, generally an alley is located behind the houses that have driveways in front, and your very standard kind of, Phoenix, Arizona development. Anyway, I don't even know. I just know Phoenix. Well, New York doesn't have it. Anyway, I didn't intentionally leave the fact about the alleys having garages leading to it out, but after everyone started howling about it, I decided to wait until I was done here to edit the main post. Now the neighbors are livid. Basically, everyone is calling me an asshole, including my family, AITA.
Okay, you know what? This person just rubbed me the wrong way. And
really?
I think it's kind of because, like, they immediately from the gate, like, went through all these legal measures to make sure they were legally in the clear. But I think it's also because you buy a house, you meet some of the neighbors, you immediately make a joke about charging them rent. They make so you're joking, apparently, and everyone's supposed to know this when they flipped out.
Fair,
and instead of
fair.
just saying, like, it's a joke, you let it blow over. So it's like, was it a joke? It kind of reminds me of the cat food situation, because when a joke bombs for me, and honestly, most of the time, even when it doesn't bomb, like, I will clarify that it's a joke. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to let you guys, like, hem and haw and be angry about this, even though I was joking.
What is it? What does it mean to hem and haw?
It's like, I don't know.
Understood.
Like, I don't know. It's like they flipped out. He let them be upset and offended instead of just clarifying that it was a joke if it was a joke. And then the neighbors say they would sue if they slip and fall, but he doesn't believe they were joking, but
I love it, Sarah.
they are meant to extend that courtesy to him when he joked. So, this does seem like a miscommunication.
Wow, I did not see that. What a great read. I think you're on point. I was definitely leaning into no asshole here territory, but now you have me in a much different situation.
Okay.
I think you're spot on. He made and it's not really a funny bit. It's a bad bit like,
No,
hey, I'm going to fuck you over.
You, and I'm going to like use my legal standing. It's never good to like show up to an argument and be like, well, I've already checked all the legal aspects and I'm in the clear, and they don't know him.
100%. I was just going through something related to this, and I found myself, because I think of some things that happened in my past, approaching things with a legalistic mindset, which can be very valuable, let me say. In the right context, you do want to kind of get legalese. If I could give one pro tip, I'm sure most of you know this, but get that shit in writing, people. Always get it in writing. Always, whatever it is, just get it in writing. Do whatever you got to do. You can say, oh, I'm sorry, but I need you to write this down for me. Take names and get it on paper, folks. But
always.
I do 100% agree. I think it sets a bad tone. It's like, do you really want to play a legal game with these people? Because that almost seems like what he was doing with this quote unquote joke. And I think you're spot on in saying that he's not seeing what they're saying. Sean G says, NTA, your property, feel free to do what you want with it.
I think everyone here is like missing the point, because I do agree. Like you said, sometimes it's important to be legal minded, but just speaking from experience, every time I'm acting that way, it's because like I know I'm about to do something kind of dickish.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think, but I think you're like not one to be assertive.
That is also true.
I'm not ready to say legalistic equals dickish. I'm just here to say it will set the tone of a series of future interactions, which I think is exactly what happened here, as you hit the nail on the head with. He makes a joke about rent, so that's kind of transactional, and then they make a joke about litigating against him, and then he goes hard and litigates against them. So what's the problem here? Well, now you really fucked some of your neighbors over. And for what, by the way? For what? Ultimately, this is based on an irrational and unlikely fear that someone will sue you, which was probably a joke. And so now you've got people that you live near and your property is adjacent to that don't like you and won't help you. And that may never like be a mission critical kind of thing, but like, I don't know where you live, but if you own the fucking alley, somehow I'm guessing this isn't exactly like, the Bronx. Like, you're probably out in a suburb and these are your people near you. Do you really want this vibe near your family and your children? I don't. That's just bad energy.
I feel like especially in like suburban neighborhoods, that's how you meet people.
Exactly.
And it's like, damn, you really just gone nuclear with all these people right away, and that is not a good look.
It's not a good look. I also don't think it's a good feeling just walking outside and being like, oh, there's a neighbor that hates me with a pretty good reason. I mean, I would hate someone if they did this to me. I think the neighbors are in a pretty good position because, I mean, this guy does, well, no, actually they're not in a good position because, he specifically says, that's another reason to not like this guy, by the way. I'm happy I was kind of on board with him, but there was an alarming quote here. One final note, he writes, regardless if I'm an asshole or not, the alley isn't going to be opened up again. So he's already kind of made his decision about the most salient part of this. So there's a lot of rigidity there. He doesn't even want to know. Even if he's the asshole, he doesn't fucking care. And I see a lot of
he just wants to like rub it in his sister's face.
Or rub it in the neighbor's face, right? And I think that's extreme toxic
masculinity. Reddit doesn't think I'm an asshole.
Yeah, it's like extreme toxic masculinity. It's like you're winning nothing here, bro. You're winning a Pyrrhic battle. Like, this is totally pointless. This is just bad vibe city so that you have your stupid gate that you had to spend money to get anyway. Like, go have a conversation and just settle this thing. Your neighbor's probably not going to sue you. Whisper M, NTA, maybe they should pool money with you to maintain the road if they do desperately want to use it instead of threatening to sue you. Now, see, I actually...
Go ahead.
That could have been an approach where this wouldn't have been an asshole move. And that is another literally a cost here, right? He bought the gate. He's spending $25 a month, which is highway robbery. We agree.
Yeah, like he's really taking advantage of this plow person.
Like, I don't think it's unreasonable for him to go and say, like, hey, I own the alley, but like, since we all use it, I just think it would be fair if we split the cost of, just having it plowed.
Yeah, that seems fair. This reminds me of the yoga guy and the beer. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. Well, I mean, this is I want to use the phrase prisoner's dilemma, but it's not quite that. There's a better metaphor, a better kind of thought experiment they use for this, but I think it's called the paradox of the commons or something, right? Because it's a common space. And so if it's a common space, then who's going to maintain it? And so the people who like don't give a shit kind of get to use it for free, and they're kind of fucking other people over, right? Like, so that would be a situation where one of the neighbors is like, oh yeah, I'm happy to split the alley maintenance fee. And then some other neighbors like, oh, screw you. And then they are free ride. It's a free rider problem. It's got all these things.
It's got a problem, but it's kind of, as we've discussed before, especially if these are people that you're going to interact with presumably daily or at least on the regular, there needs to be some type of attempted consideration before you just go nuclear.
Absolutely. Zanita R. NTA at all. If they're going to sue you for them falling on your property, then you are just preventing them from falling by building the gate. Well,
we understand the mechanism of what he did and like why he did it. But to me, this is still asshole-ish.
It's incredibly asshole-ish. I mean, honestly, it could really impact like how they live their lives. Like this, apparently it's like where they back their cars into. That's what I'm understanding, to a garage. So now they can't use their garage. So now they have to park on the street. So now there's always cars. I hate cars in front of houses. It's so ugly. Now you got all these cars on the street all the time. It's just like, it's just so stupid. Just go have a conversation. Go be a human being. Go be an adult and go talk to someone. And I have to say, ESH, I think joking about charging the neighbors for access to the alley definitely soured that first impression. They didn't think you were joking the same way you didn't think they were joking about suing.
Boom. Anti once again.
Head. Yeah, I'm a little confused on if it could be ESH. Bailey T, ESH maybe shouldn't have made the rent joke in the beginning. They were put off by that. I'm sure it seemed less like an obvious joke and more like, ha ha, disguising this as a joke, but ha ha ha, maybe not.
I am big on this analysis, and same with Anna. I was just more on board with her analysis, not necessarily the verdict, but especially because he just let them flip out. He let them think he was serious.
Yep.
Which to me leads me to believe that it was, haha, I'm kidding, unless you're going to do it. Nelly, hot in here. Anyway, yeah, so I do not really think that he was joking.
Porty lover, NTA. Someone threatened to sue you over a perceived potential hazard. You block access to the hazard. That's a reasonable response. Problem solved. Enjoy your alley.
No, it's like not. It's also when you live with people, it's pretty asshole-ish to one day just lock up this alley and not tell anyone, and they all just come home or whatever and see this, and they don't know you well. Like, that's just not a good impression at all.
Yeah, and I think, there's a good phrase I picked up in philosophy, which was like practice charity. It's meant like in arguments, like assume the best of the person you're arguing with. Assume that they know more than you do. Like don't assume you got them. And like I think it's a great thing to take in. Like Porty Lover is saying someone threatened to sue you over a perceived potential hazard. Is that what happened? Did they threaten you? I don't think it was a serious threat, right? Like that's viewing this in the worst possible way. And when you view people in the worst possible way, then you kind of act in the harshest possible way. Yep. And then you're in a harsh, bad, ugly situation. Why not just assume that they were joking too, right? Like live your life with an air of lightness and assume the best of people, and you're probably not going to get in these stupid freaking situations.
Yeah, I guess in the context of what he's saying, like he is saying the neighbors started demanding I have the alley plowed every time it snowed. And so I could see, and like in this context, maybe it wasn't a joke, but then also I kind of think that the first solution would be, all right, then everybody help contribute, or then you just even tell them that you're not going to let them use the alley if they're going to sue you. Like, you know, just
Yeah,
it's
just
petty.
well, the thing is, this appears to be multiple people not having a conversation, right? Like, just this needs to be talked out. Both sides need to be understood, and nobody's budging. And so the person with the most power took the most, executed on their power to protect themselves. So I am actually heading right toward ESH Town because I think it is absolutely an escalation for them to make the suing joke. I think that's a much higher place than I'm going to charge you rent. So I see an escalation there and a miscommunication there on their part. And I think that's asshole-ish.
Yeah. I don't know. That one paragraph is pushing me from YTA to potential ESH town. I don't
I think
like this
then
guy.
this OP was like, oh, I hate this guy now. I don't think he's joking. So let me spend some of my money to plow the alley. So OP is kind of showing some lenience there. But it's already indicating that this situation has become kind of tight and aggressive rather than open and honest and transparent.
Yeah,
And
completely.
honestly, I could even go into no assholes here because it appears to be a double joke misfire. And I don't even think like the rent comment as a joke is that bad. Neither is the I'm going to sue you comment is that bad. It just appears everyone is taking this way too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
And now there's this stupid pickle.
Yeah, it's like everyone is on edge, and this is kind of what happened.
Yes.
As you said, when you just assume like the worst motivations from everyone and then you act based on that, I do that a lot, and it's been helpful when you sort of point that out. So, yeah, unnecessary escalation town.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a rare NAH ESH paradox. I mean, I really don't. Because I think the reason we saw so many NTAs in this is because, his logic is sound. It's like someone's threatening legality against you and you're like protecting yourself. And I respect the fact that OP did that. I think there's a lot of other things he could have done, but I can't blame him for what he did without blaming the other person for their communication. So ultimately, I am going to go NAH. I feel like these people...
No, they both suck.
They both suck. Do they suck for making these jokes? I guess they suck for not having conversations with each other.
Yeah, I think this is not like an innocent misunderstanding. Like, this to me is like you guys both acted shitty because you both were making assumptions about the other person's motivations and how serious they were. So I would definitely at minimum go ESH.
That's fine with me. AITA, I locked my entire alley up. We agree. ESH, a classic. Have a conversation, you freaks.
You freaks.
AITA, for telling my sister, try staying married longer than a year before giving me marriage advice. My husband, 30M, and I, 30F, like to make rules for our life. I find there's a lot of freedom in rules. I know I can do whatever I want. Oh, there's George Orwell for us right there. I know I can do whatever I want inside a certain set of parameters, and there is no way my husband will have an issue with anything. Same for him. To be clear, I'm more passive and he's the alpha, but I prefer that in a partner. That was one of the qualities that attracted me to him. However, we both make rules for ourselves. So tonight we were having a Zoom double date for Valentine's Day when my husband said, new family rule. From now on, we will only buy Perrier instead of San Pellegrino. I laughed and said, seconded. My sister said it was weird that we made rules, and it didn't seem like it was a healthy thing to do in a relationship, that it's controlling. I mean, what if I like San Pellegrino? I explained that we both have to agree in order for a new rule to be added. She just kept saying negative things about my relationship and how I need to be a strong, independent woman that don't need no rules. I doubt upset.
She said that verbatim.
Yeah, I know, right? I got upset. I like the rules, and she was making my husband out to be some controlling, crazy person that he isn't. I got so fed up with her badgering that I snapped and said, try staying married longer than a year before giving me marriage advice.
Whoa.
She screamed in outrage and notified me that her daughter, my niece, was in the room doing homework and heard me, that I disrespected her and worse, did it in front of her daughter. I don't know. Am I the asshole?
Okay, just based on this alone for now,
yes,
I have a few bones to pick. Number one, like, Okay, you have your weird family rule quirk, but bringing that up in the middle of a Zoom Valentine's Day date doesn't seem like there's any context. Like, that is just a weird flex.
I don't know. I don't really see it as a flex. I see it as a bad bit. I'm like, okay, you guys have rules. Good one. Try
Yeah,
being
it's just
fun.
like a weird. I can't. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I can't imagine a normal context in which this got brought up and the husband like needed to say right then and there that they're having a new family rule about
Mhm.
which kind of bougie sparkling water they're going to drink. So to me, it seems like he was already kind of setting out to like rub something in their face.
Yes, they are bougie waters. I hadn't seen that layer before. That's interesting. Is there a class layer? Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any problem with OP. Like, it does seem weird how Sister is kind of starting to like really reach in, and there's nothing wrong with this dynamic, which I would argue is sort of the conventional dynamic. You know, this is a thing I think we've discussed before. It's like if you're a feminist and you want to not have a relationship like this and you want a strictly equal partner or maybe even a submissive partner, fine, but you know, she's allowed to have this dynamic. I don't really have a problem with it as long as it's not, you know, more controlling or anything. Like it doesn't violate her boundaries or whatever.
Yeah, right now it just seems like weird and like unnecessary,
Yeah,
but
it's not like it
not
doesn't.
inherently bad. But I guess I really just am wondering like why the husband felt the need to bring that up in the middle of this Zoom Valentine's Day date. Now you're sort of opening up your relationship quirks for debate.
I guess, yeah. I mean, for me, it just kind of scans as like a bad bit or like an unfunny thing that you guys do together. It's more of an inside joke that you try to take outside and was
Yeah, it's
garbage.
like okay, to what
Um,
end? To be like,
I
oh,
mean,
look at us. All right.
yeah, it's a bad bit, you know. But then for
It's a
Sister to
bad
come
bit.
in and then be like, "Oh, you guys are too controlling," da da da. It's like, whoa, 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 slow your roll. Why are you like coming at us this way? Like, it was a stupid thing. It's a stupid thing we do. So why are you attacking me and making this personal and telling me what I need, which is very infantilizing.
See that.
Like it's condescending to tell someone else what they need. You know, nobody likes that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean
So
the OP went like below the belt for sure.
absolutely.
Cuz also like what do you mean try staying married longer than a year? We don't really know the context. Are they newlyweds? Does she have like, is this her third husband? What's the context there?
Well, OP struck back, but like I feel like the sister had already kind of gotten into a space where she shouldn't have gotten.
It seems like the sister like yeah, went there, but yeah, I guess I'm really just wondering the essence of this jab.
Well, yeah, I
Because
mean, she's obviously been married for less time, so it's trying to say like, why are you condescending to me when you haven't even been married for that long? It's a cheap
yes,
shot.
but
It's
what
below the
I'm
belt.
saying is
Oh,
like
okay.
it's one thing like try staying married longer than a year implies that like
She
she
had a
has trouble
divorce.
staying married, but is it that or is it
Yeah.
just that they simply have not had that time, like
No, I think that reads to me she had a 1 year marriage. That's how I
mm,
interpret that. But either way, it's a low blow. For me, at this point in the sitch, I'm like, this is an NTA for me because, yeah, it was a harsh thing to say, but sister took some shots that she didn't need to take. It was condescending. You know, it just doesn't feel fair or appropriate the way sister broached this. So
it
yeah,
didn't because also the type of water again is just a very low stakes issue to
exactly.
turn that into being controlling, especially because she laughed and said seconded. He wasn't like, new rule unilaterally. There seemed to have to be some agreement in place there.
Yeah, totally. Well, even so, it's like, I mean, even if it was a little alarming and he declared unilaterally that the Perrier was the water of the home, which by the way is incorrect. San Pellegrino is better.
It is
It's
better.
just it's got a smoother texture. Just go
I
with
was
your
going
San
to say
Pellegrino.
it's
But
more flavorful.
yes, it is a great flavor. But this all seems to be happening then with the niece, and this is the other part where I don't like sister. She screams in outrage as a response to OP's low blow, and then tries to spin that her daughter, who's in the room doing homework, had heard her and that I disrespected her and did it in front of her daughter, which that just all felt like a reach. It's like, well, no,
That
you're
to me
literally...
is a reach.
Yeah, she was somewhere else. She was doing homework, and then like you're the one who's screaming in outrage. I said a comment that was rude, but like you're kind of stretching here.
I mean, also just saying like try to stay married longer than a year before giving me marriage advice. It's not like she's exposing some like skeletons in the closet. Like this to me is not really
yeah.
a big deal.
That's a really good point. All right, so anyway, this is I think where a lot of people probably left off. We don't need to go into it, but suffice it to say, the top comment on Reddit came to be this puppy, YTAOP, YTA, shock and a half. I can't believe how many NTAs you're getting, or rather, I can, because you left out so many key details in your biased account, OP. So I and others have had to do some comment diving to find clues. I and others, Sarah.
I love
I
it.
and others. Who is this person? They got a team?
It's like the lady from Don't Fuck with Cats, like body moving, got the squad back together.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Guys, am I the assholes back up already?
Wait,
the
is
subreddit's back. I'm on the subreddit. Wow,
back, baby.
What a short. I wonder what Reddit did. Well, we'll have to check. Anyway, DNNSSHHLY wrote this, and apparently with a group of people. Your relationship rules do sound pretty crazy and controlling, and they cite a comment that OP made in this very thread. Apparently, one of the rules is no same-sex friendships. No opposite sex.
I also did a deep dive through the OP's comments as well, and one of the rules is that if OP wears shorts in public, the husband has to be by her side at all times.
Very, very odd. I think I could talk about opposite sex friendships. I mean, I think opposite sex friendships are to be navigated. There's to be, transparency and some rules and an understanding that people catch feelings. Like, I think that is a thing that people do, like, that a couple really should discuss, like, you, in the course of a long-term relationship, you're bound to have a little crush on a friend. And so you have to simply push the friend away.
Yeah, I think it's normal to like have some kind of boundaries or discussions, especially like new opposite sex friendships.
Yes, very true. Very true. I mean, yeah, I'm saying I agree. I agree that it's a red flag to just have that as a rule.
Yeah,
but
as a blanket rule seems possessive and controlling.
Too much. But to have rules around opposite sex friendships, I would say is healthy and good.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, going on here. But have you considered that your sister may have been genuinely concerned about your well-being rather than just taking her chance to have a go at you? If my sister was living with that set of relationship rules, even consentingly, I'd be worried. This innocent-seeming water bullshit was not the first time you told her about your rules system. And this is a hyperlink to the same thread, so this is another comment. We don't know which other rules she knows about already, maybe some of the weirder ones that would be cause for legit concern. And then this gets really crazy. Personally, if you were my sister, I'd also be concerned that you met this, quote, alpha INTP when he slid into your DMs on Reddit. I'm willing to accept that's me being judgmental, but that's kind of the point of this subreddit. So then that links
INTP
out.
INTP is like Myers-Briggs?
I believe so. So INTP.
But I looked through OP's history, and she made a big deal about being the most rare type of Myers-Briggs, and like this is this is like her main personality trait, is just how it's so rare to have this combo, and even rarer for women to have it. It's like, it's very weird, like pick me energy.
What do you mean exactly?
I read through one of her posts, and it talks a lot about how like he's this INTP personality. She is whatever there's like
INTJ.
some combo
She's
of,
INTJ.
What?
I think she's an INTJ.
Yeah, maybe. And how like, oh, that's so rare, and it's even rarer for women, and blah blah blah. Like, okay.
An architect is a person with the introverted, intuitive thinking, and judging personality traits. These thoughtful tacticians love perfecting the details of life, applying creativity and rationality to everything they do. Their inner world is often a private, complex one. And it says here, this is one of the rarest personality types. His personality type is INTP, which is a logician, introverted, intuitive thinking, and prospecting. These flexible thinkers enjoy taking an unconventional approach to many aspects of life. I'm already a little bit thrown by the kind of really. So they're logical and yet they're flexible. I don't know.
Seems fake, but okay.
Seems a little weird. So, but anyway, the thread where we're inferring that she's an INTJ, she left a comment and she said, "I usually don't answer DMs, but we'll have a full-on convo in the comments. The last time I chatted with someone in the DMs, an INTP, we got married and he knocked me up." So that is how this commenter inferred.
Yeah, it's like, seriously? Okay.
Yeah, so that's how commenter inferred that she actually met her husband via Reddit, which that is a red flag. I will go say that honestly, is a red flag. I'll meet someone through Twitter, but not Reddit. Good Lord.
Oh, God. One time I met this guy on Tumblr. It was a bizarre date.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 2014 me. Had bad judgment.
Tough. 2014 Danny still drinking. That was a horrible person.
Bad year for us both.
Whew. So maybe from her perspective, this commenter goes on, she was calling your husband out on his controlling bullshit and trying to protect you. It's hard for us to know with such scant info. We don't have her side of their story. You, on the other hand, escalated massively by bringing up your sister's 2 previous failed marriages in front of her husband.
Okay. So it was a jab and not just like, hoo-hoo, you just got married last year for the first time.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah. I guess in some other thread, OP had said going from 0 to 100 real quick. Yeah, so OP had used the phrase that basically said she goes from 0 to 100 real quick, and then this commenter is saying that's not an immutable character trait you can't help no matter what your dad says. OP also described themselves as soft-spoken, and this commenter says, in fact, that kind of justification is a telltale sign of an asshole. Learn some bloody self-control. You're not a child.
Yeah, that is like big asshole energy, along with what is it? People who say, "Oh, I'm not an asshole. I'm just honest," or "I'm just blunt."
Right.
Like, "Oh, I go from 0 to 100. I just have a temper. Like, no."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like your personality trait. It's not a Myers-Briggs thing. Like, that means that you have poor emotional control.
Yeah. Plus, commenter goes on, you posted about moving in with your boyfriend about a year ago. Maybe you should get off your high horse until you've been in a properly long-term relationship yourself, LOL. Okay,
damn.
Commenter. You got a commenter at a LOL? I'll throw a YTA a commenter for that. But seriously, and perhaps most importantly, I think you should consider the possibility that your sister had a point and closely examine your relationship and whether it's healthy. What happens if you change your mind about a rule you've already made, particularly since you say your husband is, quote, incredibly stubborn and there's almost no chance of changing his mind?
That's not good.
The comments are full of people saying this reminds them of past abusive relationships. I'm not saying that's necessarily the case. I'm just saying you should be alive to the possibility. There's a little bit more, but that's pretty much the meat of it. I don't really know how that swings me yet. I don't know if I'm ready to go full YTA.
I mean,
this is still inappropriate what sister did. I maybe can go to ESH because, yeah, I feel like her comment was very rude. OP's comment was rude, but sister was also being rude. Like, even if someone isn't a toxic thing, like, it's weird.
Yeah, that's not how you do it. You don't embarrass them in front of the like potentially abusive partner. That's not good.
In fact, I believe someone previously told us that confronting someone in this way, when we were doing the one with the mother who was really shitty to the son and then the daughter.
Yeah, and he was like, "I wouldn't date you either." Yeah.
Yes. There was
God,
it was the other way.
Photographic memory for this shit.
Yeah, and a lot of people came at me afterwards and they were like, "Hey, don't encourage people to talk shit to abusers. It makes things worse for the victim." So I think that, and look, this is an indiscretion on her part, even if it wasn't a full-on abusive relationship. because it's rude, it's not appropriate, it's not effective. So like I'm at ESH even with the epic comment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with that. Like the epic comment is great. Her comment, OP's comment was below the belt. Sister's comment seemed like perhaps right sentiment, but like wrong place, wrong time.
Yes.
So yeah.
So are we in agreement? AITA for telling my sister try staying married longer than a year. We agree. ESH.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay,
what
this is
a roller coaster. That was so
what
fun.
a roller coaster. Hell
I
of a
need
comment.
more of that injected into my veins.
Holy shit. So, Sarah, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but a listener actually reached out and was offended at some of the things we said about people who live in LA.
Oh, yeah.
We had made some comments that painted people in LA with a broad stroke. I think actually, Sarah, this might be a rare case where I feel like you did the majority of it because I'm moving to LA, so I kind of have stakes in being like,
no, completely. And I know who you're talking about. And, you know, she was just, I don't think she was like mad. She was just like, not all people in LA are full of shit. And I'm like, yeah, obviously, like I do have friends there. Just, I didn't like the vibes when I've been there. But like, yeah, no, obviously not all people in that city are bad.
Okay, so could we maybe get an apology from you?
I don't want to apologize because I stand by it, but like, yeah, I was exaggerating for effect.
Okay, so no apology, but that's your statement on the matter.
Yeah, like she's right. Of course, not every person is like that.
Well, I think, you know, when we talk about groups of people, it's not okay to make generalizations. It does usually fly with cities because we talk trash about cities.
Oh my God. If you can't jokingly talk trash, then like, what are we doing on this podcast?
Well, I mean, I think we can, but you know, this person was offended. And so I was thinking about.
She was not offended. I read the comment.
Somebody reached out to me and told me that they were offended.
Personally?
Yes, they didn't like the comment. They were upset
then
by
I
it.
apologize.
Okay, and I apologize as well. I mean, I have made jokes making fun of the town I'm from. I just, you know, I know it was a joke, but it was directed at, you know, a group. Where I was trying to go with this is like we don't like when people make jokes about certain groups of people, but cities is usually an exception. But I think as usual, it's like, well, you could still hurt someone's feelings with something, and so that's kind of where my head went. But I do think in general, like city trash talk, it's kind of like sports trash talk, where it's just like that's just how it do.
Yeah, them's the rules. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I'll say this. I can't wait to move to LA. And somebody told me, they're like, yeah, Danny, you're running without a shirt on. You're looking better than you ever looked. So you're going to fit in great. And I was like, hell yeah. I love to hear it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the marathon energy is like adjacent to LA energy. So I think it is a logical move for you.
Yes.
I support.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, we got that out of the way. I mean, that's the first time in like 100 episodes that anyone's even vaguely came for Sarah. So right now the score is 4,000-1. So it's a bad score. You don't want points in this game. All right, we're going to wrap up on a listener submish. AITA for throwing away large garbage bags full of my wife and kids' possessions in the middle of the night.
So extreme. Oh my God. This would have been such a good guess the verdict.
Oh my God, this is a longie. Here we go. My wife and I have been married for 18 years. We have 2 daughters and we live in a mid-sized house with no garage or attic, so space is limited. My wife's family and I are what I would consider hoarders. Oh my God, I've never seen anyone be like, yeah, no, we're hoarders. We just totally are.
He says my wife's family, but I think he's not including himself in that.
Oh, I got confused. Oh, that would have been so much fun. My bad. They have 2 extra bedrooms, a full basement, and a 3-car garage full of useless clutter. They keep to the point where these rooms are no longer maneuverable or functional. That feels like a fair definition of hoarders for me. They're constantly buying things that they already own because they can't find it or forgot they had it. They like buying new things, but ultimately they seem miserable among their clutter, and they're always complaining, not to mention all the space and money. My wife has the same tendencies, but acknowledges that she does not want to live that way. She works hard with me to keep our home clean and clutter-free. I work from home and my wife has an hour-long commute, so I've always been the home cleaner. A position I don't mind because I can't stand clutter and I like to keep a clean house. She likes to shop, hates to throw things away, and thinks you should never throw away gifts. Whoa. So kids' rooms, drawers, closets, etc. often add up to uncontrollable levels. In addition, her sister, who lives in a different city, will often bombard our house with care packages. Oh no. Large shipments
No.
of full of useless items. Oh my god, I hate this kind of shit. Cereal bowl size, hot chocolate mugs, plastic top hats for New Year's, trashy holiday decor, unnecessarily large stuffed animals, and unwanted toys. I think she means well, but with all this extra, it feels like she is literally shipping her mental illness to us since we aren't close by to experience it from her on a daily basis. Don't give people junk. Okay, sorry, I'm injecting my opinion.
Yeesh.
So on many occasions, what should have been a half-day cleanup when things add up inevitably led to a weekend-long process of going through every little item, trying to convince my wife to get rid of things we don't need, and then barely making a dent before she went back to work on Monday. About 8 years ago, I realized the only way to keep our home in check was to occasionally do a while you were out. This term comes from a TV show
I loved that show on TLC.
we used to watch where one spouse would completely clean and redo a room while the other one was out of town. Over the years,
it was the best show. They need to bring that back.
Yeah, over the years, on average of about 2 to 3 times a year, I've surprised and delighted my wife and kids by cleaning and reorganizing our guest room, daughter's room, closets, kitchen, shelves, etc. while they were out. I cleaned, painted, built shelves, organized, decorated. They always love what I surprise them with. I enjoy making them happy and keeping things organized. The dark side is that I will donate or toss many things of theirs that they never miss, but they would say they wanted to keep if they saw it. I've thinned a herd of over 250 stuffed animals down to about 100, disappeared large plastic dollhouses and cribs they grew out of, removed old art projects, toss away that we get it. My biggest haul was about 6 construction-sized black garbage bags full of stuff to the curb a few years ago.
What's a
None of which
construction-sized black garbage bag?
huge, like 50-gallon drum kind of shit.
Oh my God.
None of which, Sarah, none of those 6 huge bags were remembered or missed. I consider everything before I decide to toss, but I wouldn't find myself hiding the trash and taking it out while the kids are at school. My wife is at work. Everyone's happy with the results, and the only alternative I see would be to live a life of clutter and disarray or spend a weekend every month arguing for hours and hours over grueling considerations of every object acquired. With the pandemic having everyone home 24/7 for almost a year now, my sister-in-law's clutter shipments have increased. Our guest bedroom is packed full of junk, and our downstairs closet had become increasingly stuffed full of organized and unnecessary trash. I woke up early on a Sunday morning to take care of it while my wife and kids slept in. When they woke up, I told them they couldn't come down yet because I was doing a while you were out. I wanted to surprise them. 1 hour and 2 big garbage bags hid in the basement later, they came down and were all surprised and impressed by how different it looked. My wife was happy that we could access what we needed in there, and I'm confident the plastic party hats, oversized candy cane, busted piñata, 18-inch broken plastic bubble blower, old grocery bag, we get it. Bullshit.
Yeah,
I'll never be missed. The only problem was what to do with the evidence. If my wife and kids saw the bags, they would want to go through every item and keep or store most of it, even though she knows it's illogical and unneeded. She loves when the clutter is clean, but doesn't realize how much I am tossing without her input. With everyone home almost 24/7 and inconsistent garbage pickups due to the recent snow, I knew there was only one solution. The story ends with me walking to the corner apartment building dumpster around 2 a.m. in the snow with 2 large black garbage bags, just hoping cops don't randomly drive by and ask me what's going on. The only thing I feel guilty about is throwing away a few things that could have gone in the recycling. Am I the asshole?
Sorry. You told us this entire fucking novel, and the only thing you feel like an asshole, and you're just asking if you're the asshole for maybe not recycling some recyclable items?
No one's even mad in the story. No one's even mad.
Oh my God. What the fuck is this? I'm sorry. Now I don't want to alienate a listener, but like, what is this hoarder's fanfic?
Why is so long? I know this person. First of all, let me say this.
First of all, yes, you're the asshole for not recycling. Fine.
No.
Feel better now?
Thank you for your submission. I understand.
I have to apologize for this energy too. Fine.
I actually think this is a validation-seeking post because I think what you're doing is heroic, dear listener. I think that you honestly are solving a huge problem. In fact, I have so much bullshit. You believe that in my tiny New York City room. I have so much bullshit, and I am a hoarder. and I admit it. I hate it. I hate it. I have a lot of junk I need to get rid of, and I can't do it. But what you're doing is good, and I think that's what you wanted to hear. And I think you're doing your family a huge favor. And it sounds like they don't appreciate you that much, and I think that's why you posted this. I don't know why you had to put it into 57 paragraphs, but props to you.
With like an itemized list of all the junk. 2 gumball machines, 1 broken, I don't know, pool table.
Your oversized candy cane, old busted pinata. I mean, yeah, she's a hoarder. I mean, he doesn't hide that. So like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. What you're doing is right. Kids can be hoarders. So like, you're in charge here. Your wife's cool with it. So you're killing it. You're killing it.
What's interesting to me, honestly, is like the fact that they are even happy when he throws out that stuff, because I do feel like most hoarders, they get upset when you throw out their stuff.
I do this too. I see a lot of myself in this.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call you like an actual hoarder.
No, of course not. Well, with hoarder, I mean, look, there's a spectrum here, right? Obviously, wife isn't that big of a hoarder because she would be upset exactly as you asked.
Yeah. So to me, this kind of indicates that maybe this is a problem that can be solved with like therapy or professional intervention, and not you just band-aiding it and like going to the dumpster every 6 months.
Well, I mean, I don't think there is a problem. Nobody's even mad at OP.
This is clearly a problem.
Why is this a problem?
What does he say in the beginning?
There's literally nothing bad.
Full of useless stuff. Like the rooms aren't maneuverable or functional. Like that's definitely
no. That's the wife's house. You're confusing.
Oh, that's the wife's family. Why is that him in there then?
Because he's building a profile for her. The wife's family is hoarders, so she has hoarder genes, but she's not a hoarder. She has the same tendencies, he writes.
So the house is clean and relatively clutter-free?
Yes, the OP makes it so.
Why are we fucking here?
Because he wanted validation. That's what I was saying. Let him have it.
This is annoying.
Let him have it.
See, now he's cluttered my brain with all this useless narrative.
No, I get it. I'm actually seeing into myself with this because look, I think my problem is because like, okay, for instance, I had a bottle of caffeine pills and I was like, I don't need these. I never use these, and I threw them out.
Yeah.
And then I wanted a caffeine pill one day, and then I was like, I can't believe I threw away the caffeine pills. And I keep running into now. I'm like, I need to get rid of this. I don't ever use this. It's taking up space. But then I go, remember the caffeine pills, Danny? Remember the caffeine pills? And it's like, it's an easy thing to do is you can come up with situations. And it's like, I just wish I could pay this guy to come to my house and just get rid of all this bullshit.
Oh, yeah. I want an organizer to do my closet.
Yeah, I just need to get a trash bag and throw away a bunch of shit because it's fucking garbage anyway. Or put it all in See, that's the thing. I'm too lazy to go and I just need to throw it away. That's the thing. It's like a coffee maker. Do I need a coffee maker? No. It's like just throw it away. But then I feel guilty because it's recyclable. There's no Goodwill near me. These are my problems. Anyway, OP, look, congrats to you. I don't think we've had a situation with less conflict or less drama, so that's got to be some kind of record. AITA for throwing away large garbage bags full of my wife's and kids' possessions in the middle of the night. I think, low-key, you're the hero, man. You are. Like, you're doing something. You're keeping your house the way you like it. Everybody likes it. You're doing a lot of work for everyone, and I give you props.
Yeah, I mean, no assholes here.
No assholes here. Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, that's the app. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please rate, review, and subscribe. Super pretty, please. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. All right. We'll see you next Monday morning. Bye.
Bye.